Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. And boy, is it good to be back. Luckily, Hurricane Dorian didn't do much to us here in South Florida, but to everybody that was affected, my heart goes out to you guys, and I hope everything goes well and the recovery is not too lengthy. What can we do? But yes, back on camera, back on schedule. Today, we're going to talk about the Oris ProPilot X. Future classic or a complete flop? And should Oris be charging this kind of money for a watch? All that coming up. Before we get started, though, customary wristwatch check. Today I'm wearing the Rolex Hulk. I spent a week outside of South Florida to get away from the hurricane. I did not bring the Hulk with me. Now that I'm back, I'm wearing it. And of course, guys, go check out delraywatch.com. A link in the description below, which got a bunch of new watches, including a limited edition blue dial IWC Portuguese, absolutely gorgeous. A Zenith Defy El Primero Skeleton, the new one that came out at Baselworld, Zenith's new hot product that is also available amongst a lot of other goodies. Go check it out only at delraywatch.com, where, in my opinion, I think we have some of the best prices in the pre-owned watch game. So yeah, guys, Oris just did a big, release, their new Oris Big Crown ProPilot X, and I've got the details here. Let me run by them. 44mm case, made out of grade 2 titanium. Very nice, sturdy, yet very light. The movement is completely skeletonized, it's in-house, and it has a 10-day, 240-hour power reserve. Very cool. In-house decorated quite well, though machine finished, but looks very, very high-end. The design is fantastic. It looks a little bit like the Royal Oak skeleton, a little bit like the Zenith El Primero skeleton. It's just a very modern design. I quite like it. However, they're charging $7,600. Here's the thing. Honestly, I think the watch is probably worth about $7,600. The in-house 10-day power reserve movement, skeletonization, the materials used. Honestly, not a big hater of the price point in a vacuum. Let me explain what that means in a second. I think horologically speaking, it's absolutely there. And for skeletonized movement, extremely well priced. However, let's not forget, the brand is Oris. Now, I'm a big lover of Oris. I sell a lot of Oris. I've owned Oris. I think Oris provides great value, and they make a good watch. But when you're talking luxury watches, you also have to remember you're selling name and prestige. And while I think, horologically speaking, it's worth every bit of $7,600, I think Oris is going to have an extremely tough time in selling it. And I'm going to break down why I think that is, and I'm going to give a few pieces of advice to Oris. So Oris, if you're watching, take some notes. So guys, I actually worked in the watch industry, let me preface this, not only in retail, but also in brand management. I was the wholesale sales manager of Piaget North America. I know what it's like to distribute watches and try and build a brand. And unfortunately, I don't think Oris's brand equity quite allows them to charge this price point. So usually, most watch companies are kind of split in two. You've got the horology and the design team, and you've got the commercial team. Let me start by saying Oris's design team, is fantastic. I mean, the things they've done in the last 5 or 6 years, the new Oris Big Crown Pointers, the Oris Diver 65s, their new in-house movements, this ProPilot X, fantastic. But the commercial side of the team has really done not much to elevate the brand. And I think there was a disconnect between what the horology team created, the guys in Switzerland created, and what the commercial team are able to sell. Because as I said, I just don't think they're perceived as a high enough brand. Now, there are a few ways to fix that. It takes a lot of time. But first thing I would do if I was Oris is I would close a bunch of authorized dealers. Usually the higher end the brand, the less number of authorized dealers. Oris has a crap ton of authorized dealers. I mean, just in Florida alone, there's dozens. And usually the best way to do it is to be the lowest end brand in a store. So, for example, if Oris were to open an AD that had Patek, Rolex, Vacheron, Oris wants to be in that company. But Oris should close all the doors where they are the highest end. So close down Macy's, close down Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry, close down places that sell Citizen and Seiko. You don't want to associate your brand with those other brands. It really cheapens the image. Now, the reason brands open so many stores is they think it's going to bring sales, and when they open a new store, the store has to order product. So Oris gets a guaranteed sale. So essentially, it was a bunch of salespeople at Oris trying to make up the numbers that opened so many doors, and now you can buy Oris everywhere, including almost your local supermarket, which, while it puts money in their bank account, it really hurts their brand image in the long run. Also, less doors means less discounts. Oris, a brand that is readily available at 40% off online, you're doing your new $7,600 watch no favors because people know they're going to be able to buy it for $3,500 to $3,700 in a few months once the distribution goes ahead. And of course, Oris also needs to stop dumping product. A lot of watch brands, when they have old product in stock, they sell it themselves to gray market dealers at 20, 30 cents on the dollar, and then dealers sell it to the public at 50% off. I don't know if Oris is doing this. I have no insider information regarding Oris and these practices, though I can tell you, looking at the gray market, there's a lot of stock available, so that is possible. So if Oris takes these steps by closing down their lower quality stores, making the brand more exclusive, cutting down on discounts, and maybe waiting 10 years, I think this watch would have made perfect sense. Because product-wise, Oris has a great lineup and has been churning out fantastic product. But as the market is today in 2019, for Oris to charge $7,600 for this watch, even though horologically it's fantastic, I've never seen one in person, but from what I can see, it's a fantastic looking watch, and it is an engineering feat. I just think they were very unrealistic to think that a lot of customers are going to be spending $7,600 when that's almost double the price of a Seamaster. That's the price of a ceramic no-date sub. Now, horologically, this might be higher end than a no-date sub, but that's a Rolex, and this is an Oris. And unfortunately, not everybody buys on actual value, they buy on perceived value. So I think this is going to be, this release happened too early in Oris's time frame. I think their brand needs to, on the commercial side, do more things to be perceived as higher end, and I think they need to support the fantastic products that their design team and watchmakers are coming out with. Because on one end, you've got great products, on the other end, you've got a business that only cares about sales and are willing to discount and open any low-quality authorized dealer they can just to make up the numbers. And unfortunately, those two things are completely polar opposites. And I think when people are going to spend money, be realistic. You think I'm asking you guys behind the camera, in front of the screen, you're going to spend $7,600 on an Oris? For real? Be honest with yourselves. I think very few of you said yes. And unfortunately, that is something I think Oris is going to learn the hard way, and I think this is either going to be discontinued or it's going to be heavily, heavily discounted. Now, unfortunately, Oris has already released it. They can't fix that. If I was Oris, what I would do is I would produce very few of them, make it a halo product, and make it hard to get. You may not sell a lot, and for sure don't dump any. That's just going to do more harm than good. I don't think you're going to make anywhere near your money back on this project. But guys at Oris, if I was you, stick to your guns, stick to the price, and start that long journey to moving your brand slightly more upmarket where you'll get more respect and you can command a $7,600 price. That'll take time and you can start here. But if you treat this like any other watch in your lineup where you start dumping product when you have excess of it, then you know what? Why did you even release a watch at this price point? It makes no sense.